Hello?
Hello, Mr. Montgomery.
Oh, yes, hello there. May I ask who's calling?
Sergeant Younger, Fort Collins Police.
Hey, Sergeant Younger. I think I talked to you once, a very long time ago.
You did. You did.
Sweet. Well, shit's still hitting the fan, as poor as that wording is. No, okay, boy. It's not that big of an issue, but it is kind of a big issue. Your guys' internal affairs policy says that you can accept verbal complaints, even though packets are encouraged. And so I was told a long time ago, or not necessarily told, but like I still told Jerry Schager a couple of very, very important things, ethical violations, so forth, that need to be investigated. And we have a lot of other stuff that we need to add to our master complaint anyway for the world. So he kind of was like, oh, okay, just get us that complaint. And so we never really, we're still backed up on the paperwork. And so that's when we started calling back other people in the last week. And so we talked to Lieutenant Dan Murphy, and that's kind of where it went a little bit sour, where he said the same thing, like, hey, everyone else is telling you to write down. You have to write down. I'm not going to take it. And so he hung up on me and everything. And I have all this on audio recording for evidence you guys need. But nevertheless, what the concern here is that the policy is different. And I also reading is elsewhere under the policy, I've been told by other people, Dispatch and Jerry and so forth, that or Trombley, that he can't touch the case, my case. You can't do anything. And while that may be true, I read in the internal affairs policy that if it's just simply an opinion on whether someone's guilty or innocent, that's not necessarily what you can start an investigation over, which is totally understandable. However, I have discovered that is not the issue going on here, that there are completely separate crimes that can be identified as separate that may result in the finding of me not guilty and so forth and so on. But ultimately, it's stuff that just needs to be found out and then presented to the DA as part of your investigation. I was reading that you guys have like a Brady disclosure. And then the DA, he does the work to decide if it's not worthy of going to court over and so forth and so on. So completely irrespective of me and my pending cases, I have past cases, I have and other situations that I've been trying to report just to get some solutions, ethical problems solved, and so I don't know if you're the right guy. I was told to talk to Jackie. I've kind of left some voicemails with her, but I just can't get the ball rolling fast enough with her, and so based upon the internal affairs policy, I've heard that you can pretty much, any employee is supposed to be able to accept any complaint and then forward that information on to the right people.
Right, which is what I'll simply do is send a message to Sergeant Jackie Pearson that you called, because she's very aware of your complaint, from my understanding, as well. It sounds like Trombley, Murphy, and Schager are. And I'm going to leave it back in their hands. I'm not going to be able to speed up the process in any way other than just sending them a message, letting them know that you called and you want to have some contact.
Okay, yep. Yeah, I figured.
If I don't work in IA, there's nothing I can do that's going to speed up the process.
Sure. As long as there's, that you are aware of it yourself in case they fall through, that way I can kind of go back to you. If there's some sort of documentation of this phone call, I have it recorded. My concern was just I wasn't able to get a hold of Jackie for a couple of days now. But if she is the one, she sounds like she's part of the PSU, Professional Standards Unit, or whatever. So yeah, I'm basically just trying to get a hold of, I guess, that person. I don't know if she works certain hours, so that's why I guess she just hasn't had a chance to call me back.
I don't know her exact hours, but I can tell you it's during business hours during the week. But I'm not sure if it's a 10-hour day or an 8-hour day. So I think she works Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 kind of a thing. But I don't know for sure her exact hours.
Okay, no, that works. If you could just kind of forward a message, light a little bit more of a fire. The real crux, every morning I wake up finding a better way to word this. The real issue that we've discovered, I kid you not, was where I had told the district attorney 2 days ago, right before entering my plea of not guilty, that he's pushing a false document for recording. Because that's in the Title 18 statutes, and that's what Officer Chernak wrote down. He wrote 460 South College on a piece of paper that's not 460. And so right now there's kind of a bogey in the punch bowl out there of attempting to influence wherever this officer for Chernak takes his paper. The first judge that signed off on it the next day, because it was a warrantless arrest, He filled out his affidavit. That judge signed it, so they got influenced. The entire DA's office, kind of, the 8 people there that endorse all their documents, they looked at it, they signed it, they pushed it too. And so no one in the DA's office has been able to figure out that that's a false document, except for the DA I just told. And he literally said, "Oh, I know that, but we have to go to trial over some other stuff." Thinking that the cases are all, or the charges in the cases are all related, when he just admitted that all the charges are not related, that he's basically knowingly pushing something, and he can't stop himself. And so that's what I'm reporting to you guys now, is that you guys have successfully, as a police force, pushed a document now to the DA's office that they won't drop, that you guys will be able to see that yourself when you go look up the actual police report for 16 CR 208 and so forth. Now it's kind of your obligation to sort of clean up your guys' mess. So I don't want to be that guy, but
literally just sent her an email letting her know that you called. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, it's
That's more than the other.
I actually, to be honest, I don't really care about my trial. I can go all the way to court knowing that the burden of proof is on them, and I think it'd be a funny situation. I could ask all sorts of silly questions, and it's going to become pretty apparent pretty quickly. But alas, I don't think this is something that needs to end up in court. I think it's a very expensive route to go. And I think you guys have other problems. This is what I'm more concerned about, that are systemic, that are dealing with how you guys teach your officers. Because I have a whole bunch of other officers that also think that's private property. Hopkins and other people. They've even moved along people illegally there since. And security guards too. That is all unrelated to me, but related to basically however you guys teach yourselves right-of-ways and city plats and so forth. And so that's kind of we got to figure that out, because there's a lot of other places too that we've caught. And truth be told, if this doesn't get solved, we will just find another way to sting you guys, because there's rights that to be upheld, and my right of way law right is there, and people are telling me I have to exercise it some other way or whatever. But truth be told, hey, are you still there?
I am here.
Thank you. I promise. I'll finish with this thought. This is the best thought ever instead to go with. The problem here that I'm having with this case is that I knowingly got the fence removed. It was an illegal fence in the right-of-way. I did that with the city manager's office and so forth. And so there's never really ever been an issue as far as right-of-way, except for just the officers. And so the officers that night, they charged me with trespassing on private property because they thought there was an issue there with the fence. Turns out, obviously there wasn't. However, what I'm really trying to say is, until you guys can get kind of your stuff figured out, or until the DA gets their stuff figured out, or until the city manager's office gets their stuff figured out, there is technically an open sting right now, which is that I'm going to go try to hang out east side of that Safeway, which I know it's a right-of-way, it's a 100-foot plat, and I'm going to call the police, or trying to get someone to call in on me for her trespassing, and the only thing that they'll have to do is look up my fake 460 protection order when they run my name, and they might just arrest me right there with, again, no probable cause, not even going through the elements, not even looking at maps, anything like that, just going off of like their customs or policies, or we've been ticketing people there for years, blah blah blah, that's for court, so forth and so on. And so I'm kind of letting you guys know there's another turd out there ready to happen, that it's a race now. You guys need to figure that out before I can get there myself.
All right, well, I will let her know.
Thank you very much. Sorry, man. Take care.
Thanks.
Adios.